Hello YouTube, I'm Michael,
I'm Jay.
and today we're here to review Secret of Kells. It was directed by Tom Moore and Nora Twomey, hope I'm pronouncing that right. It's produced by Paul Young, Didier Brunner, and Vivian Van Fletteren. It was written by Fabrice Zulowski and Tom Moore, released on in France and Belgium, February 11th, in the US, March 3rd, in the US, March 12th, and in Ireland, March 3rd. It's it's an Irish film, and the studio is Cartoon Saloon. Go ahead. Okay. This movie is absolutely gorgeous. Beautiful from start to finish. The animation style is breathtaking. Not only in its simplicity, but in its depth. Many things, like people are drawn very stylized, and sometimes blocky, sometimes round and heavily outlined. Whereas things like architecture and trees are given a unique kind of detail that is almost hard to describe even. The characters are all engaging and wonderful and deep in their own rights. The story is very nice. The entire movie is breathtaking, and I give it a hearty and whole thumbs up. It was nominated for an Oscar, and I think it should have won the Oscar for Best Animation.
Okay, the animation was very well thought out. It was crisp, it was clean, it was clear. Every time I watch an animation, it takes a lot out of me, so I either have to have a lot of energy in the day to be able to withstand such a psychological beating with everything that's going on, but I took as much as I can get with this movie, and it did take the toll on me, but it was good enough for me to just keep on watching, and accept everything that it had to offer. Its characters had dimension. Each character had its own trait recognizable, which you want in every animation. It was comedic. It was deep. The characters had much conflict that they had to face, where it provides an interesting story. I'm going on and on, but also the music. The music was just as crisp and clean as the animation,
and showed its Irish heritage as well.
Yes, it did show its Irish heritage, and I appreciate that culture, that insight. It was very inspiring with how the animation and the story was done. And I give it very healthy thumbs up. Animated thumbs up.
Anyway, just want to say one more thing before we end this review. If you have even a passing interest in animation, you owe it to yourself to watch this movie. Most people haven't heard of it unless they happen to see that it was nominated for an Academy Award. But definitely, if you have, like I said, even a passing interest in animation, see this movie. You won't be disappointed. And so with that, we're going to go on to our spoiler-heavy discussion of this movie. So if that's something you want to see, keep watching. This is the discussion portion of our review. So, what is there to say about this movie?
Well, I mean, every animation I see, it's so overwhelming. It takes a lot out of me, especially the good ones. This was the best animation I've seen ever since The Thief and the Cobbler. I mean, there was so much going on in The Thief and the Cobbler, but this takes it to another level. There's, I have a history in animation. I went to a school for animation, and I believe what they went through in this movie, it was either so much hell to do or it was so much fun to do. As everything was intricate but well done. It wasn't sloppy. Everything was, like I said before, everything was designed instead of drawn, and that just gave the movie so much style and sophistication that alone was just mind-blowing to me.
Yeah, I think a movie like this, even if it caused, stress working on it, obviously the people who made it loved doing it, because you don't put this much dedication into a film. I mean, every sequence was gorgeous. Every frame was gorgeous. I mean, hell, every frame of this movie counts as a work of art, in my opinion.
And the story too. The story was simplistic, 3-act story.
Yeah.
It was, well, yeah. It was pretty simplistic to me. Well, every animation, every animated movie, if I can't remember a movie, an animated movie that was just so complicated in story, where just it drew away from animation. The more complicated you make a story for animation, it can take away from the animation.
I disagree.
Why?
I don't think the content of the story has anything to do with the animation.
In this movie?
In any movie. Ever. But anyway.
Well, okay, the only reason I bring that up is because some animations do complement the story.
Yeah.
And I think this one definitely did.
Yeah.
I mean, this when you see all the designs that Brendan and brother Aiden made, it reflects off how the animation style was executed.
Yeah.
So.
But I don't think. But the way you said it was that some stories could be too complex for the animation, and I don't think.
Oh.
I don't think that's a factor. At all. Anyway.
Okay. Well, yeah. I retract that statement because that is pretty ridiculous to say, as it really shouldn't matter. Why did I say that? I don't know. I'm just so totally blown from this movie. It's just my mind is just right now.
Why don't we talk about the characters? Because this movie had some excellent characters. Some really great subtlety too, especially with man, it sucks. I just watched the movie and I can't remember the characters' names. But the abbot. The abbot. I forget his name, but the abbot. He was trying so hard to do what he felt was right, and it really showed in his animation and in his voice acting that he was struggling with what he was trying to do. Like, all he wanted to keep people was to keep people safe, and even he wasn't quite 100% sure that what he was doing was the right thing, but he couldn't think of anything else to do, and so he put 120% of himself and everyone else into it, which is the wall. And of course Brendan, who was raised by the abbot and was trying to do right for him, but his imagination kept leading him to get sidetracked and distracted and things like that.